As a student, how do you know if you have understood something that you have just read or studied? The best way to know if you have understood a topic is by being able to come up with examples from around you to explain what you have just read. To demonstrate, let us take a very common topic in history: colonization in Africa. Under this topic, you will study that some colonialists applied direct rule while others applied indirect rule. Direct rule is when the colonialists replace or get rid of any existing power structures, for example, kings or chiefs, in the colonized country, and so the colonizers start to govern the colonized community themselves. Indirect rule is when the colonialists use the existing leadership structures of the colonized community, for example, kings and chiefs and headmen, etc., to rule over the colonized community. Now, to know if you have understood this information, you should try and apply this in the world around you. For example, as a student, use examples from your environment to try and explain this. Now look at your school. How can you explain direct rule and indirect rule in your history class by using your school administration structure? Let's try this example. If the head teacher of your school were to come to the classes and tell the students that there will be a meeting in the school parade grounds, that represents an example of direct rule. If the same school head teacher were to use the teacher on duty or the prefects to give such an announcement to the students, that will represent an example of indirect rule. Now, try to use the example of a family to explain direct rule and indirect rule. In the leadership structure of your own family, how can you explain direct rule and indirect rule just as we have done with your school? Train your mind to always find examples around you to explain things you study, and you will become a better student.